Yes, indeed. We are back for another week of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Week 2 has come and it has gone. We'll take a look at the Packers Falcons, that close matchup, and the overtime game against the Chargers and Titans. Then we'll take a breeze around the league and then wrapping up with the Kirby on Sports PickEm for week 2. We're glad you're with us. Big thanks to our sponsors, as always, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Dr. Dave Leadership Corporation, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest in Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, and the official energy drink of the Kirby on Sports podcast, Don't Sleep Energy. Without our sponsors, none of this would be possible. Another exciting edition of the Kirby on Sports podcast comes your way next. What up? Let's get it. We're not wasting any more time here on the Kirby on Sports podcast. The Weapon, Dan Dembski. What's going on, bud?
How's it going, man? Another week going by. This was an interesting week in the NFL for sure. So a lot of some good games and some bad games, I'd say. This was a mixed bag kind of week. So
absolutely. And Carlos, the Swiss Army knife, Martinez. What's going on, my friend?
Where's the energy, Kirby? Where is the energy, dude? From henceforth, I will be taking over that responsibility. We'll discuss it later. Hello, gentlemen. How are we?
Here. I'm gonna redo that. We're gonna kick him backstage. A man who needs no
absolutely not. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, sir. The whole entire thing needs to be redone. Okay. Honestly.
Why is that?
We'll discuss this off air. We'll discuss it off air.
It's more of a
I'm getting blasted.
I'm here. The entertainment of the show has arrived.
Well, I'm sorry, Carlos. I'm really sorry.
Your apologies have fallen on deaf ears. Move on.
Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna need a second.
God help us all.
Week 2 has arrived. Oh my!
Week 2 has not arrived. Week 2 has come and gone. My friend.
Yes,
Jesus, host, let's go.
Well, if you would have knocked this podcast wagon off its rails,
I did not derail the show. Okay, bring some energy to me, bro. Damn.
What? I was just bringing you in, bud. All right, gentlemen. Week 2 has come and it has gone. Well,
no. He got it right.
I'm sorry.
He got it
see,
right.
I can't do anything without laughing on this show today for some reason. But anyways, the Falcons and the Packers, we're going to start off with that game. Obviously, 2 games, because just in general, all these games, not really a star-studded, 100% great performance, but a lot of some good performances. We can't really touch on them all, but we'll try to breeze through them on our next segment. But the first game I want to get into is the Falcons win over the Packers. This is the first time the Atlanta Falcons are 2-0 since 2017. And the Falcons showed a lot of light in this game, and so did the Packers. But I just think the Falcons are starting to change in sort of a way because, last year they weren't that good. They haven't been good in the past couple of years. And I mean, I could be wrong here, but just my opinion, I feel like the culture is starting to change, come around, and there's some good energy in Atlanta after this big win over the Packers.
Yeah, I think they've given Desmond Ridder a chance to sort of develop into a starter in this league. He's still got a ways to go, but I think we've seen some flashes from him where he can be a solid NFL quarterback if they continue to invest in the offensive line and try to get him weapons. That's the biggest thing for any young quarterback. You want to see a team try to build around them, and when young quarterbacks fail, it's because they do not take the time and the financial investment it takes to make it happen. So I think the Falcons have done a decent job of that so far. They still a ways to go there. But kind of the Packers are kind of a similar situation because now you have to turn the page from Aaron Rodgers. In comes Jordan Love, and he's looked pretty solid as well. He threw for 150 yards in this game, 3 touchdowns, really looked pretty solid. And, the Packers really going into the fourth quarter, they had this game pretty much, it was a done deal. The Packers had this game won, and, they kind of let the Falcons, get back into the game and then kind of blew the lead. So, yeah, I don't have a lot much else to say about this game. I think you're looking at two kind of teams trying to retool and re-energize. The Packers are a different story than the Falcons. But that's kind of it for me.
In looking here also, Jordan Love had a pretty good day with 151 yards and 3 touchdowns, but the run game wasn't really all there because obviously Aaron Jones got hurt last week in Chicago. So definitely not the best, but making do. All the touchdowns came in the air. So fading away from that run game because of Jones's injury, I don't think that helped the Packers either. But I'm very impressed through 2 weeks how Jordan Love has handled himself. Obviously, he's not picture perfect, but the mistakes he's making, he's rebounding back quickly in my mind.
I just got to go back to a point that you said, Dan, about Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder was terrible in this game. He was awful until the last quarter, and then he kind of came alive, and then he started doing things. I don't know if Desmond Ridder is really the answer in Atlanta, but I think he works for now. He needs to show me a more consistent high level of play, I guess you could say. In terms of weapons, I think they're good. Bijan Robinson, has been pretty awesome.
He's great.
The one thing that they've really messed up was the Kyle Pitts pick. They aren't really using him at all. He's just not what everybody thought. Everybody thought he was a generational talent, and he hasn't really panned out that way. In terms of the Packers, Jordan Love's been pretty solid as a quarterback thus far. He's obviously only 2 games in, but I don't know. Given what happened when he came into that Eagles game last year, and he played relatively well in that game, I think he has definitely him sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for those 3 seasons has really helped him in his development. And remember also, so yeah, there was no Aaron Jones, but they also were missing their 2 top wideouts. There was no Watson and the other guy. I don't remember the other guy's name right now. It escapes me. They were missing, 2 of their top passing targets in this game, if I remember correctly. So, it'll be interesting to see where the Packers go from here. I mean, LaFleur is one of the best coaches in the league. I think he's proving it here that, look, he doesn't, it wasn't just Aaron Rodgers that was, winning them these games. Like, it's also because LaFleur is a good coach. But do I think any of these teams are really going to be like anything special this season? I don't think so. But I mean, for now, at least they're entertaining. But I think the Packers have a good shot at competing for the division for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, absolutely here. Shout out to Dontavian Wicks. He had 40 yards on 2 receptions and a touchdown. He came from the University of Virginia. I'm sorry, Dan. I had to bring up local talent, not Virginia Tech wise. I do apologize about that.
I'm an adult. I think I can handle it. Believe it or not.
God forbid that you bring up some other talent from another school. Like, it's not like Dan is diehard Virginia Tech.
Kind of be surprised if it would come from my school, to be honest. So
that's fair.
But Green Bay, Atlanta, 25-24. I'm just surprised. Didn't we pick the Packers in this game?
We did not pick this game. It was not one of our pick'ems. We did not?
Okay. No. Because I'm in other pick'ems, and I picked the Packers in this game, and the Falcons beat them.
Are you also losing in all those pick'ems as well?
He's gonna owe pancakes galore. He's gonna owe pancakes over there.
I can't wait to get your pancake meeting, boys.
Yeah, because we haven't had that on the books for the past 2 years.
Hey, I've been saying I'm ready. I've been saying
no, you're not about it though. You're not about it.
You're not ready though.
Because if you were ready, then you would just go ahead and make the plans. Why are you waiting on me and Dan to make these plans? This is a discussion for another day. Let's move on.
Let's move on. So we touched on the Falcons and the Packers. We're gonna briefly dip into this, not too much, but the Seahawks defeat the Lions 37-31. This was competitive, back and forth. The Lions just drew the short end of the stick. Obviously, an interception, pick 6 by Jared Goff late in the game. For a touchdown, a Seahawks touchdown rather. But looking at this game, the Lions still showed a lot of fight, but either way, this was a competitive game, and I wouldn't hang my hats that last week was a coincidence win against Kansas City for Detroit, but I just think they drew the short end of the stick in this game.
Well, they weren't going to go undefeated. I mean, that was a given. So, yeah, this was a really fun game. It all boils down to turnovers at the end of the day. It's like that 95% of football games. And yeah, Jared Goff just happened to make an egregious turnover there in that situation, and to make matters worse for a touchdown. He's had some issues with that in his not pick 6s technically, but interceptions throughout his career. It's kind of been something that's kind of been his downfall at times. Yeah, this was a really fun game. I don't know. It just seems harder for me to pay attention to some of these later window games when I don't know.
This was a 1:00 game.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah,
maybe that's why, because there was so much other stuff going on. I didn't have a chance.
We're a little rusty at this right now.
Sink in to this.
We're still trying to work out our process on how to watch all these games again. But no, I mean, yeah, this
hard.
I mean,
it's really hard.
It is, especially when you got your two teams playing at 1:00, and then you got your next team playing at 4:25. It was so hard to pay attention to all the other games. But no, I mean, this game was super entertaining. What the football gods giveth, they taketh away. They gave the they gave the Lions a win because of a pick 6, basically, against the Chiefs, and they gave them a loss because of a pick 6 against the Seahawks. So it's all about balance in the force, if you will. And so, Geno Smith, great rebound game. He played fantastic. He was awesome. And the Lions, it's just some growing pains. I think the Lions are still a good team. I mean, like you said, Dan, they weren't going to go undefeated. They're going to lose games. It's Jared Goff at quarterback, so you can expect him to lose some games for you. But
got some highs and lows. Yep.
At the end of the day, it's all he needs to be is just a game manager. And also they're missing some weapons, of course. And their running back suffered an injury in this game, a quad injury, if I remember correctly. So that'll suck, but it gives the rookie a chance to shine, I guess you could say. And then, once they get some of their weapons back from injury, I think the Lions are going to definitely be a force to be reckoned with here, because they are a good team. They are.
My biggest takeaway from this game. All
right, Kirby, that's enough. I'm talking to America here.
Oh, you stole it right out of my mouth.
Damn right I did.
It took too long to get the joke out, man. He just had to.
God. That was really smooth. We didn't even plan that.
It's because I'm awesome. That's why.
I'm gonna have to clip that because that was unplanned. It was absolutely perfection. But it was so funny how Geno Smith got up in the ref's face and he's like, "Excuse me, I'm talking to America here." I'm like, there were just some funny things that made social media that just had me laughing.
Well, Geno has had two viral moments thus far this season, though. Oh my God, from Aaron Donald chasing him to now this, to having a ref tell him that he's talking to America. That's wild.
Yeah,
that's
good
wild.
Stuff.
That's wild.
I don't know what's funnier, that or Bill Belichick slamming the challenge flag on the sideline.
Oh, he's a tool.
Oh, that was so petty.
He's a tool.
That was
his
petty.
record.
He just pulls up his pant leg and just grabs it out of his sock and bang, spikes it.
Man, he misses Tom Brady. I'll tell you what. He probably wanted him to suit back up when he was back there last Sunday. But 2 Sundays ago now. But yeah.
Yeah. But to wrap things up, Jared Goff, I think he's doing really well. 323 yards, just that pick six. But I think Motor City Dan Campbell has that team under control, and they'll make the necessary adjustments to come out stronger next week. Obviously, like you all said, Montgomery, he got injured in the game, so next man up for the Lions in that situation, depending on how long Montgomery's out for, which is a big hit to my fantasy team as well, but wishing him all the best. So
yeah, they ran a lot of backs in this game too after that injury. So I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy you're referring to, Carlos, the rookie.
Yeah, that's his
name. He looked decent filling in for him.
Yeah, they spread out the carries a little bit, so his numbers don't look great on paper. But yeah, if they just give him more share of the carries, he'll be fine. I mean, there's a reason you draft these guys where you do, right? It's a step in these types of situations. So I feel like he will.
Man, we're just getting started here on the Kirby on Sports podcast. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we return, we'll talk about another exciting matchup. We'll be right back. For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other XMPs for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Once again, that's www.shenandoahprimitives.com. All right, welcome back to the Kirby on Sports podcast. I'm joined by the weapon Dan Dembski in the
As you
two-time
pointed the
reigning
complete opposite direction. It's fine.
the weapon Dan Dembski
You went
and
the weapon Dan Dembski. He's
No,
on this side. He's on this side of the screen.
I love being with
He's on this
Okay.
side.
Carlos Martinez and Josh Kirby.
Man, we're just having a ball if you're watching us on YouTube right now. But anyways, I'm joined by the weapon Dan Dembski,
anyone
the
is.
two-time reigning MVP Carlos.
You don't do it right. Like, my God. I'm not. Just move on, Kirby.
we're
Just move
having
on. Just move on. I will ridicule you off air.
okay.
It's better
So,
that way.
Okay. So we need to touch on this game. Another close game as the Titans defeat the Chargers in overtime. There's a big problem with this Chargers team.
Yeah, it's Brandon Staley.
Yeah, but still, it's a huge problem that needs to be addressed because this Chargers team, it looks like they have a lot of talent, but they're not
top-heavy.
winning games.
They're top heavy.
Choke.
Oh,
Sorry, Justin Herbert. My bad.
you see, that's what I thought I was hearing. I thought I was hearing the sound of a Justin Herbert.
Oh my gosh.
Barely
But-
survived that one.
This game was kind of
I'm glad
exciting
you survived,
too.
though, Dan, because it's clear the Chargers didn't.
This game was back and forth too. I was tuned in very
Bring up
closely.
the stats, Kirby. Bring up the stats.
Justin Herbert. Where would you like me to start? Justin
Start
Herbert?
with the Chargers. Tell me the Chargers stats.
Justin Herbert, 27 of 41 for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns. But where's their running game?
Well, Eckler was hurt.
Yes, that is true. I forgot. So they had Kelly rush for 39 yards, no touchdowns. Davis, 10 yards, no touchdowns. But look at the Keenan Allen, 111 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Tennessee,
Tell me Ryan Tannehill stats.
20 for 24, 246 yards and a touchdown.
Okay, now tell me how many times he got sacked.
5 times,
Tell me how many times Justin Herbert got sacked.
3 times.
So tell me, in a game where Justin Herbert is throwing for over 300 yards, in a game where this Chargers defense is sacking Ryan Tannehill for 5 times, and he only threw for how many yards did he throw for again?
246.
246. Tell me, what was Derrick Henry's stats?
That's what I was about to say.
25 carries, 80 yards and a touchdown.
So he rushes the ball for 25 times, and you hold him to 80, and you still somehow lose in overtime?
They find ways to lose.
Yep.
They find ways to lose.
This is what I'm saying.
Especially blowing an 11-0 lead, which is such an odd
Number,
score.
weird score line. But like, again, we saw how bad Ryan Tannehill looked last week. Ryan Tannehill did not look good. And all of a sudden, he's getting just demolished by this Chargers defense. Justin Herbert is, he's balling. And then you guys can't finish the job somehow? What? I don't know. To me, it's just, and I don't know if you guys saw Brandon Staley's press conference where it's clear he's starting to feel the heat of,
the seat's getting warmer and warmer every game they lose, in my opinion.
I mean, because it's like this team should be I mean, this is just the Chargers, man. They always find a way to lose this way. And I'm tired of everybody giving Justin Herbert the benefit of the doubt, too. Granted, I will give him, I'm not going to give him full blame on this. But at a certain point, because, again, given what we've seen from Brandon Staley, the way he completely botched that playoff game against the Jaguars last season, the way he's botched other coaching jobs, i.e. the freaking Raiders game that me and Dan stayed up for, where if they just needed a tie and they would have both went in, and they had it right there, and somehow, some way, Brandon Staley screwed the pooch on that one. At a certain point, so I'm going to put the blame on him, but Justin Herbert has to shoulder some of the blame here too. Last week, he had a chance to win the game at the end against the Dolphins, and he completely just worst drive ever I've seen. To try, all they needed to get was in field goal range, and they would have won. You go into this week, like you're balling out, but then you can't finish the job here in overtime. Like what? I don't know, man. He's the internet's quarterback, as Dan called him in our group message. He's the internet absolutely loves and adores this man, and I don't understand why. What has he done? He has won nothing. He has accomplished nothing. Everybody's so in love with this guy, and I'm just like, what has he done? Show, Herbert has to show me something to get me to be like, yeah, he's worthy of all that hype.
I think it's his rookie season because I believe he broke the rookie passing touchdown record or something. I'd have to think back, but yeah. Ever since then, there's been an obsession around him, and I mean, you're right, Carlos. He definitely gets a pass more than I think any other quarterback in the National Football League, and I can't imagine why. Part of me wonders if it's because he plays in Los Angeles and he doesn't play in. Because LA is not a football city. Let's be honest.
It's not. No, it's not. I mean, it is a big. It's obviously the second biggest market in
just
America.
Take a look at the Rams stadium this past weekend, all red.
Well, I mean, it's that for Chargers games too. I mean, Chargers have no fans.
Yeah. So I think maybe if he was playing for a team like any other team, especially like a team on the East Coast, because I think the West Coast is it's just a little different, unless you're San Francisco or something. I think it'd be a different situation. He would be more criticized, but I think because of where he plays, it's not the fans aren't scrutinizing him.
Well, because there's no fans to scrutinize.
Frankly, there are no fans, and the fans aren't paying any damn attention. So I think that's part of it. And I think also it's just the entertainment factor. It's the entertainment capital of the world where he plays, and he is that team's quarterback. So, you're going to get a lot of attention and stuff, even if you're screwing up. So I think that's kind of been part of it too. So, and maybe I'm being a little ridiculous with saying those things, but I think that does play a part in it. There's no doubt he's a talented quarterback, but I said it in our group chat on Sunday. He can't seem to win the big game, and I can't really recall any big wins he's ever had. I was trying to think back, and I got nothing. I seriously have nothing. So
I can name all the losses he's had, all the losses he's had to the Chiefs, all the losses he's had to obviously the playoff losses. It's just I don't know, man. It's just the mental gymnastics that all these pundits do to make excuses for him. It's just incredible to me. Again, I'm not saying that Justin Herbert sucks. I don't. He's an elite talent, but that's the thing. He's a talent. He hasn't shown me he's not an elite quarterback. He hasn't shown me that he's an elite quarterback.
He's not a product. He's not a final product.
Yeah, he's not winning anything. But I also think that's also on Brandon Staley, because Brandon Staley has been terrible. It's lost. This has been going on in the Chargers organization for years, and Staley was supposed to be different. He was supposed to be the guy who, his game plans were the reason why people were excited about him. And it's just no different to me. It's still the Chargers chargering. And it just really sucks because like you said, this team is talented. They are top heavy though. But granted, that should still be able to win you games. And especially games like this. And they're just not doing it. And I don't know, man. I just don't. I just think people really need to have a come to Jesus moment when it comes to Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think on the flip side of that for the Titans, it's you see what a great coach Mike Vrabel is because
Ooh, yeah. It's so insane that this is like the first time
April.
he's won since November last year.
Yeah, that's nuts to me because it seems like, I mean, they've been in every game, even if they've lost, and they've been on the losing end of a lot of close games. I don't know the number or any of that stuff off the top of mind, but I know last year they seemed to be in a lot of close games, and they always turned out to be on the wrong end of it. But Mike Vrabel's a great coach. I feel like, as the opposite of Brandon Staley, I feel like he motivates those guys and gets the best out of them. And anytime you have a hard fought win in overtime, it shows that you have something there. I think it's too early to say, but yeah, I like Tennessee. I think I mean they're one of the more veteran teams as far as been there, done that in the playoffs. So they just got to get a little further. But I'm kind of liking where they are right now. I think they have a confidence about them that's really great to see, and it's also really cool to see Derrick Henry still balling out. Man, he's a lot of fun to watch. He's not as great as he used to be. He's lost a step or two, but the fact that he's still playing and he's still playing at a pretty high level is exciting to watch. I'm a big Derrick Henry fan, except when he's stiff arming Ravens players, then maybe not in the playoffs. But yeah, that was a sore subject. But anyway, yeah,
So
I think these teams are in different trajectories, and I think until the Chargers come to their senses, as Carlos pointed out there, and get rid of Brandon Staley, you're just going to be in this cyclical pattern where you have this built up false confidence that you are this great team, and your coach just doesn't make the adjustments and do the things he needs to do and put the team in the situation where they can win these close games because they haven't won them. And sooner or later you have to say, we've been on the wrong end of so many games, and it comes down to the end, and it comes down to one simple decision a lot of times that ends up costing us the game. But yeah, I think the Chargers need to go a different direction, and I think people are starting to finally see that full picture, and Brandon Staley is too. His butt is getting very hot right now, I think.
Overreaction or not, Brandon Staley could be the first coach fired this season.
I don't think he's going to be the first coach fired.
It would be reasonable, but I don't think it would happen.
No, I don't even think that'd be reasonable per se. Do I think the Chargers should go in a different direction? I think they give Brandon Staley the whole season. I think they do, because
they're that kind of organization.
Yeah, they're that kind of organization. I mean, they don't like to spend money. That's why they, went in half and half with the Rams to, be in SoFi. And to me, it just doesn't make sense for the Chargers to just switch their coach midway through. I think his job is, up for grabs. I feel like if he does not, do a good job this season and they miss the playoffs, or if they have another embarrassing playoff loss, I think he's done. But I don't see him getting fired, during the season at all. I don't even know if I have a coach that is going to get fired during the season. I can't think of one.
Yeah, I can't think of one either. That's why I threw out their overreaction or not. But something's got to change with this Chargers team. And if it doesn't, I think it's going to go downhill really quickly for this team. And the Titans, on the other hand, I agree with you, Dan. I mean, Mike Vrabel's such a great coach. And, I mean, the Titans they have playmakers, but looking at last week and Ryan Tannehill, do we really think Tannehill's still the answer in Tennessee, or was that just a fluke?
I want to say it's a fluke, no, but I would say that it's a case of this is not Tannehill in his prime. We've seen his prime is past, so he's going to get you only so far. I think they're obviously banking on either Malik or Will Levis, who tragically just broke up with his girlfriend. But
found out he puts mayo in his coffee.
I mean, how did it take her this long? I don't know.
But
no, anyways, but that's totally irrelevant. But no, yeah, I think they're hoping that one of these guys is going to develop and be their quarterback of the future. And right now they're just going with Tannehill because he's the guy. He's the veteran. He's got the guy with experience. He's been in these big situations. I mean, it's not that long ago that he was in the AFC Championship game facing the Chiefs and actually winning that game, and the Chiefs had to make a comeback for that. So, he's I don't think Tannehill's going to win him a Super Bowl this year or anything like that. I don't think anything like that, but I think that for now he's going to be the guy until he starts having a string of like bad games.
Yeah, Carlos is right. I mean, he's a game manager. That's just what he is at this point in his career. He's not going to go out there and throw 40 touchdown passes. You're not going to see that from him, but he will show you. He will come through occasionally and have a touchdown pass late in the game that puts the game out of reach or makes it a meaningful game. But he's not a guy that's going to go out there and just go off. He's not. He's beyond that stage in his career. And I think the Titans are doing it the right way. I mean, you don't want to throw either of those two young quarterbacks into to the wolves per se. You want to give them an opportunity to learn behind Ryan Tannehill, a guy who's been a solid NFL quarterback, who's played for a couple different teams, and has had. If you can stick around the NFL for as long as Ryan Tannehill has, you're doing something right. So, gives them a chance to grow and develop, and maybe next year, one of these guys can get a chance. I think. If I had my choice, I'd go with Malik Willis, but that's just me. I think Will Levis is kind of a mess.
He's hurt right now, too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he got hurt, I guess, in the preseason or something. So
yeah,
crazy, crazy stuff. But yeah.
Welp, that is the Chargers falling to the Titans 27-24. Hey, I just got to take a moment. Shout out my good friends over at Shenandoah Music. Shenandoah Music is here to help your beginning band students as school has begun. Band class is here. They have an easy, hassle-free online rental process at shenmusicstore.com. All of their instruments are band director approved, and they partner with local directors to make sure your student is getting exactly the equipment or accessories he or she needs. Go on to shenmusicstore.com today. Once again, we appreciate our friends over at Shenandoah Music, and we'll take another quick break and take a breeze around the rest of the NFL when we return.
Hey, sports fans. Thank you for listening to and supporting the Kirby on Sports podcast with founder and host Josh Kirby, along with lead contributor Dan Dembski. Like, subscribe, and give them a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcast from. My name is Dr. Dave Miles, founder of Dr. Dave Leadership Corporation. Our company helps leaders build engaged and productive teams. Exclusively for listeners of the Kirby on Sports podcast, you can take an opportunity to discover your primary communication style and learn more about effective communication with others. Text Kirby to 757-903-0743 for your free copy of the Working From Home Communication Assessment, where you'll learn your primary communication style, how to better communicate with others not like you, and tips on working remotely based on your personal communication style. 10 minutes, tons of resources. Learn about yourself and your team. Again, text Kirby to 757-903-0743 for your free assessment report today. I'm Dr. Dave Miles, founder of Dr. Dave Leadership Corporation, where we help you and your team be more engaged and productive by understanding each other better. Back to you, Josh.
Hey, Kirby on Sports podcast listeners, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate here. You know, it may seem scary or daunting at first to think about buying or selling a home. Well, look no further. Give me a call, 540-247-1527. There's nothing more than I love to do than help my friends make those transactions fun, interesting, and at the end of the day, productive. Look me up online, iconsales.com, and even better, find me on my podcast, Iconic Talk, with my co-host Megan Eanes on any podcast platform. We will share all the local news about real estate markets and our local community. It's educational. Look us up. We'd love to help you. Iconsales.com, 540-247-1527. Josh, back to you.
All right. Welcome back to the Kirby on Sports podcast. Gentlemen, it is time to breeze around the NFL very quickly.
Break
Breeze,
wind,
that's
if you will.
Yes. And I mean, this week, there were some good games, but I mean, Carlos, I'm going to ask you something here and be honest with me. Was this week too kind of mid?
Not for me. No,
Not for
absolutely
you.
not.
Oh, yeah, because you had
Yeah.
Sunday ticket.
No.
How was your Sunday ticket experience?
It
Pretty
was
good.
fantastic. It
Good.
was fantastic.
I'm glad. I'm glad you liked it. So, anyways, quickly breezing. The scoreline did not indicate how sloppy this first half was, as the Eagles defeated the Vikings 34-28. Any quick thoughts on that one?
Yeah, Vikings just had way too many turnovers. I mean, they killed themselves early in this game. I of course I picked them to win this game stupidly, but I also just feel like they got to clean that stuff up. I mean, it's just ridiculous. There's no excuse for that. So, especially when you're paying the quarterback as much as he's getting paid. You like that? I don't like that. So,
Well, he's throwing 364 yards and 4 touchdowns, and you're still losing the game.
the
Pendulum swung the other way. Last year they were winning all these games by 1 scores. Now they're losing all these games by 1 score.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Football
Yeah.
gods don't favor him anymore. They don't
Mhm.
favor him.
All right, Dan, your Ravens defeated the Bengals 27-24. You got to like
Pretty
that.
happy. Pretty happy about this game. Yeah, and
Got a little
know,
dicey at the end, though. It got a little dicey at the end, but I mean, also Odell got hurt.
yeah, well, kind of used to that now. When he went down, I'm like, here we go. This is kind of what he does. So, yeah, I was happy with how the Ravens played. I felt like Lamar was really sharp. Looked back to, he looked like he was getting comfortable again with the offense and starting to build a connection with Zay Flowers and Nelson Aguilar as well. Was happy to see that. I feel like he could be sort of an X factor on this offense because he's not the number one receiver, obviously.
Who's
So
that?
No. Nelson Aguilar.
Nelson. Okay.
Yeah.
Zay?
No,
Yeah,
Zay,
100%
Zay,
good. Yeah.
Zay definitely should be is the number
Absolutely.
one guy.
Absolutely.
And Rashad Bateman too. I think if he can continue to stay healthy.
And the return of Mark Andrews.
Mandrews, yeah, he was a little rusty to start the game, but I felt like he settled in nicely as well.
Well, he was also coming off an injury, correct?
Yeah, he's
same thing with
injury-
Travis. Travis looked,
injury issues.
yeah, he looked rusty this week too, so it makes sense.
Well, he's distracted too, right?
Oh,
Well,
I'm not gonna make a Taylor Swift reference here. No, I'm not gonna do it.
no, Iron Eagle already got you covered on that.
That one was
so-
great. It took me a second to
Really
realize
good.
what he said, but when
Really
I
good.
realized, I was like, "Oh, that son of a!" I can't finish the statement. This is a family show, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But defensively, I think the Ravens are solid. I mean, just solid from front to back. I'm really impressed with how the cornerbacks have been playing. The young guys been stepping up. Brandon Stevens, was solid in this game. Pretty much keeping the Bengals. I mean, Bengals have weapons across the board. So the fact that they were able to keep them in check for most of the game, I mean, they still had some plays here and there. And then getting pressure on Joe Burrow was huge all day for the Ravens defense. I feel like it's going to be a continuing thing all season. I would say I'm concerned for the Bengals as far as their start to the season, but they were 0-2 last year, and
Yeah, but also
they were fine. This
Burrow
is
was
different.
not
This feels
hurt.
different.
Yeah, Burrow was not hurt. Something feels different about this time. I'm actually also worried about the Bengals. I'm not 100% positive if how they're going to really recover right now because again, Burrow just re-aggravated his calf injury. So
So, something to look at.
And real quick, and speaking from experience in terms of how we had to deal with that with Dak Prescott a couple seasons ago. Well, no. Yeah, a couple seasons ago is when we had
Correct.
to deal with it because he, Dak was playing at a very high level, going into that New England game, and then obviously he hurt on the very last play of that game where he launched it to CeeDee Lamb. You hate to see it, boys. You hate to see it. But but after that, like he just was not the same after that, and he took 2 weeks off to recover from that. And it's kind of the same thing that I'm seeing from Joe Burrow here. This is going to be an injury that's going to be kind of nagging him all season. So one of Joe Burrow's biggest things is his mobility in the pocket. So we'll see how they what they're going to do, if Joe Burrow is even going to play this week or what. I don't know.
Got to say that offensive line that they retooled.
Ooh, terrible.
It does not.
Well, they cut Lyle Collins,
Yeah, true.
So like that doesn't help. You're cutting your right tackle. I don't know. They're not doing a great job, and who knows? Maybe this is just going to be the Bengals season from hell. We don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see for sure, but I'm sure you were happy about the Ravens' victory over the Bengals. All right, Carlos, the Cowboys 30-10 over the Jets. I know.
Go, 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 Dallas Cowboys.
I mean,
song right at all,
you
but
could just say, "How about them Cowboys?"
No. That's the victory song.
Oh, okay.
That's the victory
well,
song.
I know you have to air some grievances about the Cowboys' performance, even though they won. What were some of the issues in this game in your mind?
I have a list. Number one. I actually don't have any. I mean, look. All in all, my only grievance with this, and it's every fan's grievance with this game, is that the Cowboys weren't that aggressive in the red zone. But all in all, they didn't need to be. They weren't afraid of Zach Wilson on the other side, man. Like Zach Wilson did absolutely. That second half, he literally did nothing in the game. All his production came in the first half. In the second half, Dallas's defense completely shut that offense down. And that's when, because it was 18-10 at halftime, and then it ends up being 30-10. So everything happened after that. Look, that defense is special, man. And I think this is testament to those three, to 3 seasons of Dan Quinn being able to implement this with the guys. And it's a core base of guys that have stayed with us those 3 seasons. Obviously, Micah Parsons, Diggs, our safeties, Van Der Esch, in the linebacker position, Van Der Esch, this team this defense understands their job. They understand the philosophy that Dan Quinn has wanted to implement here. And I think we're finally seeing the fruits of our labor here. This defense is special, man. Micah Parsons, man, dude, what a game wrecker he's becoming. And it's so exciting. And it's crazy to think that Dallas fell into him because, in that draft, they weren't looking for they weren't considering Micah Parsons at all. They wanted, a defensive back, and both the guys that they had on their board got drafted way earlier. They ended up trading back, and they just kind of took Micah Parsons because he was the best guy available. So for Dallas to fall into this guy and for him to fall into our laps has been absolutely incredible. Diggs has been awesome thus far. Gilmore has been solid on the other side. That defense is special. In terms of offense, CeeDee Lamb, dude, he's coming, guys. He's coming. He's a dude. He's a guy. And, for our tight ends to have a good rebound game and actually catch some touchdowns this time was pretty cool. I'm glad that they made that emphasis of, giving these guys, some try to build their confidence up after that terrible performance in New York. But granted, it was raining. It was a little tough. Jake Ferguson gets the first touchdown at AT&T Stadium this season. So good for him. The running backs look great too. Pollard looked good. Rico Dowdle looked good. Zach Martin was a beast. On the offensive line was pretty solid. So was Tyler Biotish. Got to give him his flowers. And Dak Prescott did relatively well again. He's doing what he needs to do, protect the ball. Again, the whole narrative this offseason was the interceptions, all this stuff. And last year was an anomaly. Like, people have to understand that last year, that's not the normal for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott does not normally throw that many interceptions. It was just, and if you really look at every interception that he threw last season, every single one of them has a story. Some of them, I want to say half of them weren't even his fault. It was just the ball bounced off a receiver, hit the receiver in the chest, and bounced up, and it was intercepted. Some of them were definitely his fault. I can distinctly remember the Eagles game where he threw it and just threw it right into a defensive lineman, and he ran it in for a pick six. So I just want this Dak Prescott slander to stop, and for people to understand that he's a good quarterback, and I like Dak Prescott. I've always liked Dak Prescott, and I think I don't know. I just have a great feeling about this team this year. And as for the Jets, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know where they go from here. I really don't know where they go from here.
It's bad when Zach Wilson's your leading rusher with 36 yards. And,
yeah, but you only give Breece Hall 4 carries. That's insane.
Yeah, they didn't really run the ball much.
Yeah, and he's tweeting 4 football emojis. It's like, I mean, it doesn't make sense. You're giving Breece Hall 4 carries.
No,
not at all.
Make sense at all. No, none.
Yeah, I can see where he's coming from by tweeting 4 football emojis.
If you had Aaron Rodgers, okay, that makes sense. But this is Zach Wilson we're talking about here. This is backup quarterback.
I do think that this game would have definitely gone a lot different had Aaron Rodgers been in this game. It would have been way more competitive. I do still think Dallas would have won, just because of the way Dallas was dominating that offensive line. The New York Jets don't have a good offensive line at all. So I think it would have. But it's Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers loves beating the Cowboys, so he would have made it interesting either way. But with it being with Zach Wilson, I think that's the other thing, is that Nathaniel Hackett didn't really trust or doesn't know how to play with Zach Wilson yet, so it was hard for him to dial up any plays. And I think maybe he was just trying to see what he had with Zach Wilson. Garrett Wilson, though, with that crazy touchdown, it was a great touchdown, but it was the only touchdown. But yeah, I don't know, man. That defense got embarrassed by Dallas's offense, though.
Yeah, big time.
Taking a look at some other scores around week 2, the Bills over the Raiders, 38-10.
Yeah,
Anthony Richardson
Are
gets
you gonna
injured.
hold on? Are you going to are any of us planning to issue an apology to Josh Allen? I'm not.
No, it's one game.
Well, he's about to dominate the Commanders here in a second, so.
Yeah. So moving on, the Colts over the Texans, 31-20, where Anthony Richardson gets injured, rushes in for 2 touchdowns. I mean, not much to say in that game. The Bucks over the Bears. I mean, the Bears are doing Bears things.
Hold on. Do you smell that? Do you smell that, Kirby? It might be Tyson time. We got Tyson. Justin Fields might be done. God damn it, you ruined the joke.
What?
Tyson, the backup quarterback for the Bears.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, Mr. High School Football over here.
Yeah. No, it took me a moment. That would be
That
cool
took more than a moment, dude. That took you a solid 5
So the Bears
minutes.
backup quarterback.
We've already explained this. We've already explained it.
Oh, we have? Okay,
We've
cool.
explained it before.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Mike Tyson. I'm like, wait, I'm not connecting.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I guess that.
I thought you were trying to pull a dirty joke on me or something, like trying to prank me or something.
No. It's Tyson time. It's Tyson chicken nuggets.
So, some other scores: the 49ers over the Rams, 30-23. The Dolphins all over the Patriots, 24-17.
I wouldn't say all over the Patriots.
No, the Patriots had a chance.
The Patriots had a chance there. If the refs would have been kind and just given them the first down,
penalty,
because that was an awesome play with the lateral.
That lateral to the lineman.
There should be a rule that if a lineman makes a play like that, you just give him the first down.
Belichick.
So they didn't give him the first down because it was lateral to a lineman?
No, they didn't give him the first down because he was short by a little bit. But you could have made the case that you could have given it to them.
I see. Because
there wasn't actually there wasn't conclusive evidence. Like you couldn't actually see where the ball was. They just kind of assumed where it was.
Yeah.
Well, then because it involves the Patriots, then you'd have conspiracy theories about, there's the NFL helping the Patriots again. Like they have so many times before. So,
well, initially, they ruled it a first down, correct?
They did. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was funny just watching that replay. Chris Collinsworth was going bananas.
Wait, I can't even do the Chris Collinsworth impression anymore.
It was,
oh my gosh. Yeah, he's too much sometimes.
And And two sloppy Monday night games, the Saints over the Panthers and the Steelers over the Browns. I mean,
just
Steelers Browns
it was
was kind of
ugly.
sloppy.
I didn't hear a score. You missed a score.
Huh? Which one?
Yeah, my other team.
Oh yeah, I was going to get to that. I'm sorry, I was just listing down some scores to get.
Oh, you were already on Monday
night,
night, so I was like, oh, did he miss it? He might have missed it.
No, I didn't miss it. But the two Monday night games, they just seemed really sloppy.
I don't know why they're. I don't like the two Monday night games.
I don't like the two Monday night games either. I have two TVs on trying to watch both. It's like, come on. And they're doing live look-ins from each game, and then Scott Van Pelt back at the studio for an update. I'm like, come on, just stick it to one game, and we have to live with that again next week too.
It's too much. It's too much.
I don't even know who are the two Monday night. I don't know. We can figure that out later.
It's Chris Fowler and Louis Riddick. And
no, I was saying who's
the
playing.
games, who's the matchups. I can check real quick.
Eagles, Bucks, Rams, Bengals.
Jeez, I couldn't.
Not terrible games. I mean, I think Eagles Bucks might be a blowout. It might be. We'll see if the Eagles look like the Eagles.
Yeah.
But Bengals Rams that might be interesting depending on. I mean, it'll be interesting to see the storylines of, the Bengals. Whatever. I'm holding us back here.
Yep. So now let's get to sort of I'm not really sure how to describe this performance as. The Chiefs defeated the Jaguars 17-9. I know you probably have some grievances to air on this game as well, Carlos.
Yeah. I would say the Chiefs need to start learning to run the ball. They need to change their philosophy of passing to run. They need to run to pass right now because they don't have a top guy in terms of wide receivers. Travis Kelce is rusty. He's still trying to get, into, the groove of the game. He's also 33 years old. So, he's not a young spry guy anymore. It might take him a little bit to get going. There's no developed number one receiver here. I mean, the wide receivers looked a lot better in this game. Kadarius Toney looked great. He made some big plays. Obviously Sky Moore got a touchdown. But I don't know, man, sometimes they try to get too cute and it gets annoying. On short yardage situations, like just give it to Pacheco. Like Pacheco's going to get it for you. Like just give it to Pacheco. Let's stop trying to get cute with this. Those are my only real gripes. I mean, look, this team is going to take a little bit to develop just because, like I said, the receivers are young. But that Kansas City defense is good. They're really good. And they did a great job today stopping, Trevor Lawrence from getting into the end zone because they had, I think it was something like 5 red zone trips and they were 0 for 5. I mean, this game was close. It was there for the taking for the Jaguars and they just couldn't get into the end zone because the Chiefs defense was able to hold them back. So, this just isn't the normal Chiefs that we're normally used to seeing. We're normally seeing high powered offense and stuff, but I guess this is just going to be a good test for Mahomes to see, this is something Brady was able to do. Brady was always able to make it work with no-name receivers. It looks like we're going to try that with Mahomes. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, offensively, I'd like to see more, of course. I'd like to see these guys really develop. These receivers have a boatload of talent. Like they have a lot of potential. It's just they have to develop into reliable guys, and we'll see how it goes. But all in all, a win is a win. They didn't start 0-2. They went 1-1, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I got nothing to add. I think it's the simple thing is as long as they have Patrick Mahomes, they're going to be in every game, no matter who he's throwing the ball to. So, obviously, it helps to have those weapons, and that chemistry is everything with those young receivers, especially. So, I think once Mahomes gets more time with these guys, and we know him, he and Kelce are going to connect a good amount this year. So, the Chiefs are definitely going to be. They're still the team, I think, to beat, I would say, in the AFC. So until that's proven otherwise, that's going to be the case.
Last but not least, a Washington Commanders victory over the Denver Broncos 35-33 And pardon my French, but damn, do the Commanders know how to raise my blood pressure 20 beats per minute in the last 10
Only 20?
seconds of the football game.
Doing their
Good.
high knees down the aisle of the plane.
Mr.
Oh,
Unlimited.
Limited.
God, Russell Wilson stinks.
We're not talking about how the Broncos choked this game. We're talking about how the defense for the Washington Commanders can't swat a ball out of the air and just land it on the ground.
And we're
Please.
doing pass interference on the 2-point conversion.
Hey, that's make up for the Giants game last year, sir. Make up for the Giants game.
Look, you guys got a good
Don't
call.
forget that.
Congratulations. You
forget
guys
that.
beat the Denver
Jamaica.
Broncos, who I didn't have you guys winning that game. So that is pretty impressive. But I guess we do have to have the conversation here of is Sean Payton actually a bad coach? I think it's a little too
I
early.
don't know.
I think it's
But I do
too
just want
early
to present the
say.
argument of the fact that he went 7-9 3 seasons in a row with Drew Brees at quarterback. Just want to throw that out there. We'll hold this discussion for another week. But I will say Russell Wilson stinks. He's really bad. He's just not willing to make the plays that like you need to do. I mean, they were up by what was it? 18? They were up by 18 at some point. How do you lose this game? I mean, look, Sam Howell made some very nice throws. He did in that second half. I think Eric Bieniemy is starting to you're starting to see the Eric Bieniemy effect on this team. And I guess we'll see how they do against an actual contender against the Bills.
Well, I'm not happy with the performance. I'm not.
Why aren't you happy with the performance? They made a comeback. And sure, they almost botched it at the end, but I mean, they still came back. They showed some fight. But they showed some fight. Kirby, god damn it, you really can't be happy for this team, like at all. Like
you're not letting me finish.
My team showed fight. You think so? So you think Colorado fans are upset because they had to come back against Colorado State?
That was
because they went to overtime.
That game went forever, though.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Never
the
ended.
UFC fights were over before that.
I should give me a pair of Dion shades to wear on the podcast. That'd be nice.
Nah, he makes him look cool. I don't think you would pull it off. No offense.
No, but I'm not finished here. The start of the game
was terrible.
Yes,
was terrible.
That's what I think the Commanders need to eliminate. The rest of the game,
yeah. You and every other team that starts bad. It's a 4-quarter game, and you guys came back and won. You guys showed fight. You didn't give up. What happened before? Whenever your team would get down, what happened last season against the Browns when you guys got down? They gave up. You guys gave up. This time, you guys didn't give up, and
because this is a different era.
Pause. You guys were in Denver. You were away. Okay, you just said it right there. This is a different era. Yet you're complaining like you're in the same era. Be happy. You guys came back. You won.
As Herm Edwards
I
said,
am happy.
You play to win the game. You play to win the game, and they won, and you're still not happy.
It doesn't matter how you won the game, Kirby. You won the game. A win counts the same in the win column, whether it's by 30 points or whether it's by 3 stinking points in a comeback victory. It's a win in the column, my boy.
Yeah. So I'm happy because of the fact that the Commanders are 2-0 for the first time in who knows how long.
I think it was like 2009.
I mean,
I
don't
think that's
know.
the stat I saw. I don't remember. It's been a while since you guys have been 2-0.
2009. Wow.
I think that was it, but don't quote me on that.
We were just youngsters.
I mean, it's
been a while.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the start of the game, it was sloppy. Mistakes were made, but the second half of Commanders football is what I'd like to see all 4 quarters. Is this just a learning adjustment? And don't get me wrong here, Carlos. I am happy they won.
It is a learning adjustment, 100%.
You got a new quarterback.
Culture doesn't change overnight, man. It doesn't.
I know. But I'm just saying, if they can eliminate the slow start to the first half, this team's culture is different. Sam Howell has made some mistakes, but you don't see him giving up. That bomb to Terry McLaurin, you see Carson Wentz making that throw?
No, but Carson Wentz was a broken man by the time he got to
50 years old. He's 50 years old.
I don't even think Heineke could have made that throw, to be honest with you.
I don't know, man. Heineke was a dog.
Yeah, but I mean
Talk about a darling.
that throw, I couldn't see Wentz making last year, or Fitzpatrick for that matter.
Well,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
Fitzpatrick was. Oh, I mean, you're comparing. Anyway, I digress. You just frustrate me. Ryan
Anyway.
Fitzpatrick was on his 15th team when he got to you guys.
Yeah, no, but
He
I'm
was
just
there to
saying,
collect a paycheck. All right.
I'm just saying that was an incredible throw. Screw the Broncos defense because Logan Thomas has a
Ooh,
concussion.
bad hit. Bad hit.
Yeah, that was.
And
Terrible
that
hit.
guy hit that whoever the receiver was for the Raiders knocked him out last week. That was
Jackson
the same
made,
guy.
Nikhil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the same guy. So I'm surprised he's not getting suspended or
Well, we'll see. I mean, he'll definitely get fined, I imagine, but we'll see.
yeah. But that
Yeah,
what else? I saw a graphic. I thought this was pretty funny. I saw a graphic. Eric Bieniemy's offense is averaging more points a game than the Chiefs' offense. I saw a graphic.
That's fair.
I just laughed, and people were like, "Are you missing Bieniemy yet, Chiefs Nation?" And
No, because I'm not putting it on missing Bieniemy why this offense is struggling. I'm putting it
Yeah.
on because
But
the
the
receivers
personnel.
are young.
yeah,
It's the personnel. I mean, don't get it twisted. Like, yes, losing Bieniemy was huge for the Chiefs. Do I wish he was still there? Of course I do. I wish he was still at with the Chiefs. I mean, I'm not going to knock Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is a great coordinator. He should be a head coach somewhere. I don't understand why people don't give him a head coaching job, but I guess we'll find out what happens this offseason after, and if this Washington offense continues to look good, what's going to be an excuse? I wouldn't say Bieniemy is the sole reason why the Chiefs offense is looking bad. I think I can't sit here and say that he's not part of why, having that guy consistently. But Matt Nagy was the offensive coordinator before Eric Bieniemy took that job when Nagy left for Chicago. So it's not like Matt Nagy doesn't know what he's doing. He was just an awful head coach, but he was a pretty decent offensive coordinator. But I'm happy that the Commanders are, doing well with Eric Bieniemy. I was, obviously there was those weird stories that were coming out that he was too intense for some players or whatever. And it's just like, no, like you got to understand why he's that way. And you got to just trust the process. You got to see the vision.
Heck, the Commanders put up 35 points
for the first time in forever.
I was going to say, when's the last time they've done that?
I think it was like 2020. 2019 was the last time they put up something like that.
I'm just saying, by the end of the Commander season, playoffs or not, Ron Rivera and Josh Harris are gonna have to build massive trophy cases because they keep trading game balls back and forth. It's hilarious.
Such dopes. Such dopes.
I know, but
God,
35 points, but looking now. I know we touched on this earlier, but I mean, the Broncos. I mean, they were off to such a hot start. They just blew it.
When were they? Oh, no. You're talking about in the game.
In the game.
I was like, when did they start off hot? We're only 2 weeks into the season. No.
Now they started off the game hot, but I mean,
they started off the game hot. I was like, wow. But how they botched this, I couldn't tell you.
That's a complete collapse.
I just think Russell Wilson's cooked. I do. I don't think this Broncos team is that good.
He's cooking.
No, he's not
cooking.
Let
cooked. Russ cook.
No, don't let Russ cook anymore. Because Russ can't cook.
Something's burning.
Russ is burning water somehow.
Could you believe that Hail Mary happened though?
I can't believe that actually hit. That was actually incredible. But I don't know. The moment it got tipped up, I was like, oh, this is going to be magical here. And then when it landed in the receiver's arm, I was like, oh my God. I was like, no shot. I was like, I bet you Kirby's, ripping his shirt off right now going, ah.
Well, the only good thing was they had to go for two.
They had to, yeah.
Yeah,
that was the good news.
If it was like a situation where they needed a field goal to tie and they go for two, I would have been livid. Absolutely livid. Shout out to my buddy Matt March. He check him out on YouTube. The Southern Snack. He does a whole bunch of great food reviews. Check him out. He was over at the house. He is a Denver Broncos fan, and I'll tell you, he was screaming and yelling and hooting and hollering after that Hail Mary hit. But
Hooting and hollering. There you
yeah,
go.
and then
And
the
your
2-point
team,
conversion failed.
cheated and held, and luckily didn't get that penalty called. But it is what it is.
Excuse me, that is makeup from the Giants.
There is no
game.
makeups in football.
Yeah,
Okay,
There was no flub.
Yeah,
they're not remembering something from last season.
Yeah, they are.
The ref goes back. Oh yeah,
You
we
can try
gotta
to
get that-
justify it all you
that
want,
makeup
Kirby,
call.
but your team cheated, and it's
Hey,
fine.
a win's a win, bud.
A win is a win. A win is a win.
win
Congratulations.
is a win.
Congratulations on being 2-0. Hey,
Okay.
hey,
No.
boys.
Wait. He's come full circle because remember how disappointed he was at the start. They won.
You didn't let me finish.
Oh,
You
okay.
made it seem like I was disappointed in their whole
Oh,
performance.
Sorry. History says that that's normally what you do here, even when the team succeeds. You guys won the division at 7-9, and you were still over there. Easy with the words there. You're still there, crying in the corner, being like, this team is terrible, yet we're winning our crappy division.
Yeah, so now he says a win is a win. Okay, I'm glad he finished with that. Thank God.
A win is a win, boys.
Well,
A
you
win is a
wouldn't let
win.
me finish. I was just mad at the start of the game. That's all it was.
But
Fair
You
it's not about how
played
you
full
start.
60 minutes of that style of football you saw in the second half.
It's about how you finish.
I-
It's about how
I'm
you
like,
finish.
I'm saying this Commanders team has weapons, and
They do.
but the
They
test,
just got to keep Sam Howell upright.
the
Keep him upright.
test, yeah, the O line needs to improve too.
The
I
test is
won't even
coming
get
up.
into
You
that.
guys got the Bills. I mean, it's not like the Bills are world beaters. Like
That's going to be a big test. The Bills.
It's going to be a good test. It'll be a
Definitely,
good test to see where
definitely.
you guys are to match up to
It's a
be
good
against
barometer.
a top
It is better.
team.
It is better the Commanders 2-0 instead of 0-2 going into this game. I will
Yeah,
say that.
I agree. I
And
agree.
the loss won't be as crushing.
I agree. I agree.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
And I forgot to mention one thing. It just really irritated me the New York Giants came back and beat the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, me too. I didn't like
I
that.
wanted to see the Cardinals smack them so bad.
I didn't
be
like
like,
that.
Cardinals gonna
Dude,
Cardinal.
just-
Cardinals
just-
gonna
No,
No,
Cardinal.
they remembered that
Giants-
they were tanking. They forgot that they were tanking in the first half. Then they remembered in the
Oh, guys,
second half. They got into.
we
They're
have
like,
to
"What?
lose.
What are we doing? We're not supposed to win this game. Just let them
No.
go."
But dude, I was like, if the Giants lose, I would have been like, oh my gosh.
Oh, there would have
there's
been
somebody-
hell to raise in New
Yeah.
York. They got lucky, but they lost Saquon though. So 3 weeks.
That's
All right,
terrible.
cool.
Terrible injury. Nick Chubb as well. Thoughts
Oh,
and prayers out to
oh.
him. That was
Hopefully,
gruesome.
hopefully he comes back, man. That was
Brutal.
that was bad.
Just awful to look at. Yeah, and
And
awful.
it looks
awful
like
injury.
Kareem Hunt came to visit the Browns again, so they might sign him just to take his position back, since
Yeah.
he played for the Browns the past couple seasons. So
Who knows this
at
system
least
well.
they have
Plug and play
yeah.
situation.
at least they have a backup plan. But man, that really sucks for Chubb.
Oof.
Really does.
Yeah, totally agree.
Gentlemen, it's about time we hit our pick segment right after this break, but are we ready for it?
Okay, Taylor
Ready as
Swift.
I'll ever be.
We're ready for picks. We'll take a quick break, and we have a special announcement regarding our picks right after this.
Bedbugs. The only thing creepier than thinking about them is actually having them. Trust me, you don't want to have them. Locally owned and operated Barrett Pest and Termite Services can keep you from having bedbug nightmares and infestations. Call 540-340-3922 to schedule your free inspection and consultation. If bedbugs are already in your home, we'll get rid of them so you can rest easy. We also specialize in keeping homes and businesses free of other pests, including rodents and termites. That's Barrett Pest and Termite Services, 540-340-3922.
Hi, this is Mark Peter Lynch with Guild Mortgage. One of the greatest joys in doing business over the last 30 years in the Shenandoah Valley is helping people buy their first home. Buying their first home and putting the keys in their hand at the closing table has brought me so much joy. If you want to buy your first home, a second home, or an investment property, or build wealth through investment in real estate, give me a call. My phone number is 540-664-4700, or you can find me on the World Wide Web at www.marksmortgage.com.
It is now time, as we return to the Kirby on Sports podcast, to bring you the the Kirby on Sports Week 2 Pick'em. Mr. Carlos with the honors.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so, wait, are you gonna make your announcement, or do you want me to go through this first?
So, yeah, let's get through this first.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so after 2 weeks of our Pick'ems challenge, the current standings are me and Dan are tied at 7-5. Dan making a ferocious comeback, and me having a 500 week. I picked half correct. I picked half incorrect. So there's that. And then Kirby also roaring back to a 500 record at 6-6. He is, of course, in last place as per usual. Tell me what else is new. Watch him jump into first place after this week. So our picks for so the games that we will be picking this week are the Steelers Raiders, the Browns Titans, the Chargers Vikings, the Rams Bengals, the Packers Saints, and the Eagles and Buccaneers. Kind of a bad week for pick'ems because there's no real marquee game. All these games actually low-key are mid to suck. So I just picked the games that I thought would be fun to pick. Not that, I mean, there's some diversity in our picks, but there's two games in particular where we picked the same teams. But there's some diversity in our picks
there.
Yeah, there's a little bit.
So,
I mean, it looks like at least two people pick the same team. I mean, two people are always going to pick the same team, honestly, in the pick'ems. So, but anyways, go on, Kirby.
So let's go through our picks because not everybody is listening on watching on YouTube. So I'll start off, and then Dan, I'll let you get through yours and Carlos. So the Steelers versus the Raiders, I'm picking the Steelers. And then the Browns versus the Titans, I think the Browns have a slight edge. Even after watching that game last week, I
do not believe in Deshaun Watson. I do not believe.
Well,
nope.
Nothing
makes me happier than to watch him struggle.
Crazier things have happened in the NFL.
Fair enough.
I'm picking the Chargers over the Vikings. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Pick.
The Rams over the Bengals. Obviously, Joe Burrow. We're not sure if he's going to play or not.
He's going up against Aaron Donald with a terrible line.
Yeah. The Packers over the Saints. And then I could be completely wrong, but
you're going to be wrong on this one. There's no shot this one hits. There's no shot this one hits. If it does, if on the slimmest chance that it does hit, I'll be impressed. But I don't see it happening.
Well, crazier things have happened, and
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I'm sorry. I just don't see this happening. But
I haven't seen an explosive Eagles team.
Okay, but I haven't. I don't trust.
They've only gotten Devontae Smith
Baker Mayfield, but the fact that they win Baker Mayfield over Jalen Hurts and this stout Eagles offense that just hasn't gotten going yet. You just got to give it a little time. They're going through some growing pains, and this decent Eagles defense. They obviously have taken some hits. They got some young guys that they're trying to get up to speed. I mean, it's insane to me. It's insane. But, do you, bro? You want to keep losing, it's fine.
All right, Dan, go through your picks.
Yeah, so Steelers visiting the Raiders. I'm going to take the Raiders in this matchup. It's tough for those East Coast teams to travel west. And I don't know. I just don't have
Dan, let's just call it what it is. You just can't pick the Steelers, okay? Even though you did pick them a couple of weeks ago, but
I did. Yeah. They let me down once. Shame on you. You can't shame me again. I made that up. It's not the saying. But anyway, I digress. Browns and Titans. I'm going to take the Titans in this matchup. I agree kind of with what everybody else has been saying. Don't have a lot of confidence in the Browns right now. And again, hard for me to pick the Browns anyway, so I think the Titans are looking trending upward.
You know what I just realized? We have 3 AFC North teams on this pick'ems.
We do.
And Dan didn't pick
because they have the
one of
decent
them.
games. Nope. Well, can you blame me? I mean, the first one maybe, but the last two probably not. The next one, LA visiting Cincinnati. The LA Rams. Sorry, I completely got a brain fart there. Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. This one I could see going either way though. But like Carlos said, with a beaten up offensive line and Joe Burrow already battling an injury, re-aggravating that injury this past week, it's going to be tough for them, I think, on offense. Green Bay visiting New Orleans. I'm going to go with the Packers there. I just haven't seen enough with this Saints team to me that I can highlight and put an exclamation point on them in this game. So I think the Packers are going to pull the win there. And then, of course, I'm taking Philadelphia as they visit Tampa Bay. Easy pick for me. Tampa's been playing well, but I think Philly's going to put it all together for this game, and they're gonna cruise. I have a feeling.
All right, and now for the winning picks, from your from your reigning, defending, undisputed Kirby on Sports Pick'em's champion, Carlos, the Swiss Army Knife Martinez.
Would you quit? That's too long of an intro.
Absolutely not. It's not too long of an intro. It's a perfect intro because I'm the freaking champ. That's why. All right.
Y'all don't get it, do you?
Kirby wouldn't get it because he's number one. So.
Boom, boom.
Anyways,
continue.
So I will continue because I'm a winner, and you still owe me 48 pancakes.
You do. He does.
You really still owe me 48 pancakes, and I'll never forget until your debt is paid.
Okay.
Anyways, so
now.
So I got the Steelers beating the Raiders. I've got the Titans beating the Browns. I've got the Chargers beating the Vikings. I've got the Rams beating the Bengals. I am the sole person who took the Saints over the Packers. I just think the Saints have more talent and a more experienced quarterback, obviously. And I don't know. I just don't think the Packers are going to be able to match the firepower that the Saints have on offense, at least. Not saying that the Packers are bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I think the Saints are better. And then, of course, the easiest pick of the thing that Kirby somehow made complicated, the Eagles will be over the Bucks. But, he decides to put his money on Baker Mayfield instead of Jalen Hurts. And, we're going to let him do it like he did against, he took Tampa over Dallas, last season in the playoffs, which made no sense.
That was a mistake. Tom Brady was washed. I did realize that.
Let your emotions get the
He was washed like the last 7 weeks of the season. So it's not like he didn't have a clue where he was going. Oh,
well, I don't know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for a special announcement in regards to our NFL Week 3 pick'em. And going forward, through the entire rest of the season, we are partnering up once again with my good friends over at Anthony's Pizza, home of the Warrior, at 161 Warrior Drive in Stevens City, Virginia. And every week when we post the Pick'ems graphic, you have a chance to win a free large cheese pizza if you get the most amount of picks, and I'm trying to word this in the most easiest way possible. The picks we have listed here, and this only applies to the picks that we have listed on our graphic.
Yeah. You have to pick from the games that we are picking from. You can't make your own picks and pick from your own games, because I've seen that in the comment section also, where some people are throwing out different games, and we're like, that doesn't help us.
I mean, it doesn't.
So
help
you
us.
have to pick between the Steelers, Raiders, Browns, Titans, Chargers, Vikings, Rams, Bengals, Packers, Saints, and Eagles, Bucks. Those 6 games you have to make your picks for in the comment section, and go on. Yeah.
So those 6 games that we chose from on the graphic, you have to pick from them, and the person with the most amount of picks right by the end of the week will win a free large cheese pizza Terms and conditions do apply. I still have to figure out the rest of the terms and conditions in terms of if somebody ties, so on.
We
so
do
forth.
have to figure that out because it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
there's a
going
tie,
to figure
yeah.
that out rather quickly, but that's going to be posted on social media. So thanks again to Anthony's Pizza, home of the Warrior.
If you want to win, just copy my picks. I promise you, I will take you to the promised land every week.
Oh my gosh! So
Or you'll have a rough week again. Watch out.
But hey, I'm just
Fair
saying a free large cheese
been tough this
pizza
year.
for picking football games correctly. What sounds
not
better
bad.
than that? Sounds
I just
better
wish
deal.
we could qualify for this offer, but we can't
Yeah, we can't.
I
qualify
love
for this
cheese
offer.
pizza.
unless I use my burner accounts.
It's Farlos. That's the burner. It's too close to your regular name. Might be time to get a new one.
You got me.
I outed him.
So once again, big thanks to Anthony's Pizza, home of the Warrior, for that 161 Warrior Drive in Stevens City, Virginia. And we'll post that up in the social media side very shortly. But that about does it for another edition of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Thanks to our sponsors, PM Plus Reserve, Shenandoah Primitives, Dr. Dave Leadership Corporation, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest and Termite Services, Shenandoah Music, and Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, and the official energy drink of the Kirby on Sports podcast, Don't Sleep Energy. We have a new promo code, KOS Podcast, capital K, capital O, capital S, podcast. You use that code on Amazon or don'tsleepenergy.com. You get 12% off your entire order every single time, and they just rebranded. So a lot of great selection. Check out Don't Sleep Energy today. Carlos Martinez, since my intros are so bad, I'll let you take the outro.
The boys are done. The night is young. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get her done. Hey!
Until next time, everybody.